ministry with Making Provisions for Ministries, hosted by Bishop Jerome Jones. This show is all about aiding ministries in financial growth and prosperity. Tune in weekly as we delve into strategies for expanding ministries and acquiring the necessary resources for survival in today's world. Discover practical solutions and actionable steps applicable to any congregation. Don't miss Making Provisions for Ministries with Bishop Jerome Jones. It's time to take your ministry to new heights.
Well, greetings and welcome to Reaching the Next Generation and Jerome Jones Ministries. I want to thank the Lord for what God is doing in this hour, and I am excited about that. And this is a wonderful, wonderful Sunday morning here in the United States of America. Now, I'm going to make a slight adjustment to our program right now so that we can take off this screen, and you just have to, and I will have to just endure what it is behind us. We are here at the church, and I wanted to take a moment to say to all of you that are getting the broadcast and are watching us at different times, I'm asking that we help the mission to Liberia. Now I'm going to try to turn this around and see if we can get a little bit better so that we don't have as much glare, and I'll just kind of move over here, and I think that'll help us out a little bit. That light behind us kind of load everything up in a glare. But I want to take time to talk with you this morning. Saints of God, this is real work. I am so excited about the hand of God showing up all over the world. And I'm headed into Liberia, West Africa, with a nationwide gospel explosion. And the lead minister there is Evangelist Mark DeCoker. Now, Evangelist Mark, I've been working and discipling and insider training and development for over 6 years. And I want you to know that we have a very good team on the ground in Liberia. And Evangelist Mark is heading that team up, facilitating where we're going to be positioned to do the crusades, the different meetings all over that nation. And we are excited about that because we're talking about taking the gospel to literally hundreds and thousands of people all over the nation of Liberia. When I went to Liberia, we started in a place where there was no church. We did not go to places where there was already flooded with churches and everything was already in place. But we started in a place where there was no church, and we were the first to go in and settle in an environment that many times had been bypassed by many evangelists, by many other ministries, and etc. But God had us, as he had Jesus, when he said, I must needs go to Samaria. He had us, you must go here. We did not stay in the finest of hotels. In fact, my room temperature was 102 degrees at night. Lack of air conditioning, lack of lights, no way to get food, walking from place to place, looking at the conditions of this people in Liberia and looking at what was taking place inside of those that were being merchandised by false prophets, by false ministers, by false brethren and false sisters that was taking advantage of the people of God. Much witchcraft going on, much craftiness going on right in churches. And I don't say that to slight the noble, God-fearing sons and daughters of God in Liberia. I met some of the sweetest people you'll ever meet, some of the most godly and loving people you're going to meet. But inside of that too, there were people that just was not of God, making merchandise of the sons of God, teaching false doctrine, and then there were those that just didn't know the truth. I had the opportunity to witness men and women that had been pastoring for years stand up in our assemblies and says, I don't know this, didn't know this, never heard this. I want to know this. I want you to train me. I want you to be my mentor. I watched this. And so I am saying to you, as we prepare, the reason we can go there now and preach all over that nation is because we've taken some time by the grace of God to minister to people on the ground there and to continue to work with them. And these men and women of God are dedicated to the spreading of the gospel, not to the fattening of their own pocketbooks. These men and women of God are committed to serving the Lord. They love God. They want to see others know God, even when their own lives are in jeopardy for doing so. So I want to ask you today, I want to take a moment to ask you today, will you help? Would you help us? I just got a message right here from Evangelist Mark. I've got him right here. He says, I'm following us now. I did walk around a few areas, meet women and community chiefs, and I share with them our plans, and it was welcome. They can't wait having us. This is a message that we got in real time just now. I've got him right here. Just now got him. And we are excited about it. Listen, saints of God, listen. I know that God is doing something. There's an explosion. When I talk about an explosion, I'm talking about breaking the yokes and breaking the back of the devil and the grip that Satan have in the body of Christ. You know, we're not talking about just doing little stuff that we call miracles and stuff that we call the great move of God. No, hallelujah. We're talking about seeing the full manifestation of the power of God to break the back of the enemy. The devil has had a seat in the house of God too long. And we're talking about evicting the devil. We're talking about casting the devil out. We're talking about seeing deliverance in the hearts and minds of the people and setting those that are under the lordship of the tyrants and the false shepherds, seeing them set free. And I'm not making any excuses here. I'm telling you, saints of God, when we see people under an occult type ministry, we got to sound the alarm and tell them, do this. Tell them to get out. Don't tell them, okay, you got to sit there and pray your way through it. That's not biblical counseling. Tell them, no. If you see an occult operation taking place, get out. Because if that occult operation is going on, it's because it's under the headship of the occult leader. So don't play with your soul. And so we are going into these strongholds with the gospel of Jesus Christ to tell people, look, Jesus is the Lord of all, and you can be saved today. We witnessed men get saved. When I was there in Liberia, we baptized a great number of people out in the ocean or lake or the ocean side. And it was just a joy to see people walking, not just riding their cars, but walking to be baptized and walking to witness this event. Saints, you got to get happy with this. You got to get happy with this. So listen, let me ask you right now, because I'm sitting here and we're in the sanctuary, in the office here at the church, and you're going to hear some music going on. You're going to hear some noise going on. The team of worshipers are going to be rehearsing, getting ready for our 10 a.m. service here, where the pastors here is Pastor Jimmy Loman and Esperanza Loman. And this is the Rock International Outreach. What a fitting name. International Outreach. That's what God has called on the church to do. The church is gotten too complacent, sitting in their fine buildings, investing in their buildings, and not investing in souls. We'll put up a new TV screen, we'll put up a new camera, we'll put up a new pew, we'll put up a new microphone and all kind of new gadgets in the church, but we will not invest like that in souls. And this is what God is upset with. This is what angers God. This is what causes God to grieve over the people that he has placed in the house of worship to facilitate ministry, because we have our priorities wrong. So I want to encourage you today, wherever you are, anywhere in the United States, in Jamaica, in the Bahamas, anywhere in London, anywhere all over Europe, anywhere you are getting this broadcast, I want to give you some real good instructions from the heart of God. Put your hand to help this nationwide crusade, because Liberia is going to be the launch pad that will enable us to reach into the nations all over the continent of Africa. Did you hear what I said? Liberia is going to be the launch pad from which we are going to reach into all the other nations throughout the continent of Africa. Now, Africa is not a nation. Africa is a continent. And Africa has about 54 nations, 48 to 54. And so therefore, when we talk about Africa, you got a whole lot of ground. And so I want to encourage you, we're starting a major global gospel explosion in the nation of Africa. Now let's see what Evangelist Mark says to us again. So we will start or launch it right across River Village. It's a place where you're going to see that nothing of such has been done there. And afterward, we will move it to a nearby town. This is why we need your help. This is why I need your help, because we're starting in this location where, see, this is important. I gotta stress this. This is important. When I went to Liberia, I knew I was going into an area where there was no churches. It wasn't fertile ground. It wasn't a ground that was already cultivated and already planted with churches. And the thing was, how respond? What's going to happen there? Well, looking back at it, we see that God had ordained for those people to be touched, to be ministered to, and to be strengthened and ministered saved. And we went, and God honored it. Now we're going into other territories that has not been fertilized. But guess what? Whenever God is sending you somewhere, he already have a people that he want to hear this gospel, that he want to respond to this word. And so we are saying, help me get so that the ministry can be mobile. We must be fully mobile, which means we have to have a quality projector. That's going to cost us about $500 or better. We're going to have a soundboard. That's going to cost us about $1,600 to $2,000. We're going to have microphones. Got to have some lights. We already got a generator, but we're going to need another generator. We need 2 generators and not 1. And we already have the connectivity for the internet connection. I bought that when we was there. It's still good. It's still brand new. We need internet data packages, so that we can operate at full speed and have the meetings broadcast live online. And ground team. That's the big thing. We have men on the ground that says, I want this. I'm a part of God's move here. So I want to say to you, will you take time right now? Will you take time right now and give something to help us in this endeavor? Give something to the work right now. Because you see, there are many people that are going to be impacted by what we are doing right now. We're taking this all over the world to the nations. Liberia is the launch pad. We're going to Pakistan. I got 3 locations in Pakistan. We're going into Uganda, location there with mission with Pastor Jeremiah Iglagama. We're going into Nigeria with Abase. We're going into Zimbabwe with Minister Seaford. We're going into India. We have Pastor Paul and Pastor Sankhosh. We're going into South Africa and Gambia, Morocco with Minister Apostle Peterson. I'm telling you, thanks to God, all we need is a little help from you to get the equipment. And you'll be able to see in real time, live, how this offering that you have given is working to spread the gospel around the world. So now, I can talk about this. I can talk about this for a long time. But what I really want to drive home to you, because there are so many people going to listen to this and watch this, and they're going to pass right along. It happens all the time. But let me just give you a little bit more information. For several years now, I have been involved with helping the poor in these nations. I have been involved with discipling men and women, pastoring different pastors in these nations. I have been involved in discipleship training with men and women in these nations. I'm involved with supporting orphanages, little children, involved with helping them with their school fees, because in these countries, their education is not free. They have to pay for, if you got a child in K-5, you got a child in first grade, you got to pay for it. You don't get free education. And sometimes they don't have the ability to pay, many times. The older child have to go out and work in the fields all day long. Sometimes they don't even have food to eat, and guess what? The older children have to go out and work for 12 hours, and sometimes grandmothers go to work for 12 hours. They're out in the fields cutting down trees like a lumberjack all day just to get food, not get money. I have first-hand experience of what's happening And through all of that hardship, they're drinking water many times that water that the animals bathe in, that the people don't have indoor facilities. They live in lives that we in America wouldn't dare to attempt to live. But the love that they have for God supersedes all of that. So I'm asking you, I'm taking my time tonight, this morning, to ask you, will you dig in and help me now? Would you do it? Make a sacrifice. At this juncture, I need someone to make a sacrifice, not to as in $1,000. This crusade is going to save Minnesota. Now, the reason I can ask you this, and I don't feel any reluctancy, I went all the way to Africa, over 10,000 miles away. I didn't take not one dime from any person there in Africa. I conducted the crusades and all the workshops. With all the offerings that was given, I never counted not $1 in the offering and never took not $1 from that crusade. I wasn't paid any money. I wasn't given no stipend or no offering, none of that. They didn't pay for my plane ticket. They didn't pay for my hotel. I paid all of it. And I'm asked, it was an investment. And because of that, we have now opportunity to go in and to take the gospel to the whole nation. Because of that, we were able to meet Evangelist Mark one-on-one and give him the discipleship and give him the training. Because of that, we were able to meet other pastors and other sons of God. Because of that, now we can go in and take the gospel all over the nation with a team on the ground that have the heart of God. So I'm asking, because there are those of you that are watching this broadcast, and you could give $1,000 right now and it wouldn't bother you at all. And I'm asking you to make a sacrifice. Let it be a sacrifice. Some of you can just say, well, I'm going to give $100 to it. We need a total of about $3,500, and that's a small amount to enable us to minister the gospel to a whole nation and to the whole world. Because once we get the equipment, we'll have the equipment to go anywhere in the world. To appeal to you. You see our Cashapp link on this banner, and it's also in the description area. Will you go there right now and say, Bishop Jones, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to help. I'm going to be a financial contributor to this evangelistic outreach. That's the whole essence of this broadcast today. Not just to sound off as to what we're doing, but to let you know what we're doing so that we can invite you to be a partner with us in doing it. Right now, I need your help. Right now, this is the month of February. It's the first Sunday, and we are planning and hoping and praying to start the tour of the whole nation this month. Within this month. So to do that, we've already located the place where the equipment is. The team on the ground has already sent me pictures of the equipment. They've already sent me to the store, giving me the location of the store where this equipment is, the prices of this equipment. And you see, and I know this because when I was there, we not only did some things, we wasn't just a pulpit preacher, but I went out in the neighborhood, went out in the communities, and we had to buy equipment to do the crusade. So we purchased all the equipment at the different stores. And not only did we purchase all the equipment, but we, put the minister in a home. We gave the minister transportation, bought them a motorcycle, put them in a home, bought them refrigerators and furniture for the house. We know how to minister. So I want to encourage you right now. Would you go and make a contribution to this cause? I don't know what you're able to do, but all of you that get this broadcast, let me encourage you not to settle for the fact that maybe you're helping another work, maybe you're in another work. Don't let your heart be cold and your hands be closed to this work. Just like I went there and spent 3 months there and never took an offering from them. It was a tremendous sacrifice. I understand that. But it was unto the Lord. It was for His glory. So I want to invite you now to, in spite of what you're already doing, do this unto the Lord. Do it unto the Lord. And even ask your fellow brothers and sisters, let's raise the budget for this. When we want to buy equipment for the church, we raise the budget. When you want to buy things in your home, you raise a budget. You get a budget there that you put monies to it. The Bible says where a man's treasure is, there will his heart be also. I just believe that God has some God-loving people that realizes that they have been blessed to be a blessing. And I'm asking you to stand with me right now. I'm asking you right now by the Spirit of God within me saying, help the nation of Liberia come back to God. Help them. And if you'll do that, we'll get the nation next to them. And then the nation next to that. We'll get into Niger. We'll get into Guinea. We'll get into Sierra Leone. We'll get into Nigeria, Pakistan, Uganda. We'll just continue. This equipment will enable us to do all over the nation of Liberia what has not been done before. And it'll be all because you and I partner together to do this great work. I'm asking for your help because there are hundreds and thousands of souls that are going to be ministered to through this gospel explosion. And we have the team in place on the ground. We are ready here from the United States, and we just liking the equipment to be mobile so that we can move the equipment from one location to the other location. There will be over 30 different meetings all over that nation. And we have to be able to move the projector, move the generators, move the soundboard and speakers and microphones to the different locations. So I'm asking you, will you stand with us? Will you say yes? Would you say, Bishop Jones, I'm going to give and I'm going to do it now? Would you go to our Cashapp and give something, said this is for the Liberia mission? That's all you need to do. I'll send you a reply back. You know that we have it, and it will go for the crusade, evangelistic gospel explosion in Liberia. Well, I've got to go now, but until the next time, I'm Bishop Jerome Jones saying, if you go with God, I know that God will surely go with you. You do not by all means have yourself a Jesus-filled day. God bless you, and bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Making Provisions for Ministries, hosted by Bishop Jerome Jones. Join us every week as we discuss aiding ministries in financial growth and prosperity. This is your opportunity to delve into strategies for expanding ministries and acquiring the necessary resources for survival in today's world, and discover practical solutions and actionable steps applicable to any congregation. So until next time, God bless from your friends at Making Provisions for Ministries with host Bishop Jerome Jones.